welcome to day 10 of our Fascia Flow Reset. I want to, again, thank you for sticking with me through all this learning of technology, uploading, and all this fun stuff. I think I'm getting a lot better at it. So today's hips revisited. So we did hips prior to this. We're going to do a little bit more hip work. I do recommend that you have tennis balls or your tune-up balls and a block or a pillow, your bolster, your firm pillow or your bolster handy. And with that, we're going to get right into it. So let's start with the breath, slow diaphragmatic breathing throughout the whole practice. Okay, so that's what I want you to really familiarize yourself with, is your breathing pattern here right now. So with that, we're going to take a nice inhale through the nose, exhale long and soft through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Again, we'll take that nice deep inhale, that diaphragmatic breathing. Inhale through the nose, exhale long and soft. Couple more, just like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, long and soft. Let's start to incorporate a little bit of movement here. We're going to take a little bit of those pelvic tilts. So I want you to isolate the upper back and have that movement be from your pelvis. So whatever seated position that helps you to be in, and you can even maybe sit on a block. It might help you a little bit to kind of just focus on that tilt of the pelvis. Okay, so that's what we're focusing on. Sometimes that block makes it a little tedious, but just offer a little bit more support, and sitting on that block often helps with length in the spine. So just those pelvic tilts. We're just focusing on those pelvic tilts. Forward, back, forward, back. Inhaling and exhaling, long and soft exhales. All right, when you're ready, bring your legs out to extension and just take an easeful forward fold here, just kind of rocking gently from side to side. And then we're going to take a figure 4 seated pigeon, I like to call it. So I'll show you from this angle. I'm going to cross my right ankle over the left thigh. And you can have as much space between that left heel and the glute as you need, okay? So we're going to gently rock from side to side. And I'm going to turn back this way. And just to your degree, everybody is going to be different here. But if you have the it available to you to lower that right foot to the left side, turn and kind of lower down. You can take your bolster or your pillow and just kind of rest here. Your blocks are also very beneficial here to bring the floor closer. Just breathe into it. Breathe into that hip, that right open hip. Couple more breaths here. Notice the quality of your breath. And come back to center. You can rock the way you came into the pose, out of the pose. So you can take your feet about hip width distance and just a gentle little side to side motion. And we'll take that to the other side. As you cross the left ankle over the right thigh, maybe you just take a moment here to see where your edge is without forcing it or without pushing into any sort of stretch that might not be available to you. So think about it. Think about just gentle rocks and allowing yourself to feel this more than what you think it should be or how far you should go. Be patient with yourself. Be kind. And when you're ready to drop that left foot over to the right, all my props are in the way. I'm going to use my blocks on this side to show you, so you can just place them underneath the forearms if you'd like. You can even bring this right leg to extension if you'd like to, if that's a little easier for you. Maybe a little less on the knee there, or a little less in the low back. And just find a way that works for your body here. This like lizard variation, I guess it would be. And find those deep, full breaths where you really feel connected. Notice how your body responds to each full breath in and how it responds to the exhale. So important. One more breath. Come out the way you came in, easily, working yourself back to those windshield wipers. All right, we're going to take a little bit of just a quick supine, hug the knees in, just to open up space in the low back and give yourself a little bit of a hug. And as I always like to do within my practices, thank my body, thank every bone, your fascia, every muscle, every cell. And just give yourself a nice big hug and maybe a little extra abdominal effort here as you invite the head and shoulders off of the mat. Lower the head and shoulders back down. Ease your body to one side. Now, I did recommend these. A lot of people I know that practice with me on Monday nights had purchased these. If you got the set and you do have the Alpha Ball, which is this big purple ball, I recommend that you use this one for the next hip release, okay? So this is going to be our glute release. I will tell you, if you have never done this before and you do have this ball, a lot of the myofascial release balls that aren't the tune-up balls come in this size, but they're really hard. But if you do have any ball this size, you're welcome to use it. I just like the feedback that these give you. It gives you more time to roll out with getting kind of deeper into those hot spots with intention instead of that fight or flight mode when we put a hard lacrosse ball per se there. So I highly recommend these. I think I put them in the link before, but if I didn't and you didn't get it, let me know. So this is going to be a lot of pressure if you're seated, guys. If you're seated here, obviously this is going to be a lot more pressure than it would at the wall. Okay, so option to come to the wall. Wow. Apparently I'm super tight here too. So I might want to grab my blocks. Lift me a little bit more up and lighten that load a little bit, okay? So compression for a bit here just to get information, and you can kind of rock. I'm not really feeling much in that meaty part of the glute, so I'm going to roll, and there it is. That's where I want you to find that compression, where you find that tender area, that hot spot. So just breathe into it. At least about 10 to 15 seconds at least. If you can do more of that compression, that's going to give you more of an opportunity to say, all right, I'm going to roll around that general area to release, right? So you can just kind of start gentle circles if you want, whether you're at the wall or whether you're seated. And like I said, more pressure here. I like this one too because you can get into that TFL, that tensor fasciae lata muscle there, if you work a little bit more towards, hopefully you guys can see there, that outer hip. The tensor fasciae lata muscle helps our hip to move that triangular shaped muscle. And then I'm going to show my friends at the wall. Hopefully you can kind of get an idea here. Maybe a slight bend in the knees. And this is a better way for you to control pressure. Some people, it's absolutely unbearable to be in that variation at the floor. It's just too much pressure. Our glutes are the biggest muscle in our body, right? So they are so tight. Whether we're seated and stagnant and they're underused, or whether we're walking or running or training or whatever we're doing, they're abused, right? Or misused even. So just kind of give yourself a little bit of that butt love. That sounds awful, doesn't it? But you'll know exactly what I mean when you're rolling out here, because this is a game changer. So that 90 to 120 seconds, okay, if longer, perfectly fine. You could definitely work through that a little longer. So all right, due to time purposes, I'm going to move to the other side. But in between, I want you guys to take a mountain pose. When you come to that standing mountain pose, you can check in. And wow, it is a complete difference from one glute to the other. So, all right, I'll stay at the wall here and then come back to the floor. So compress if you can. Maybe it's that just kind of, all right, how much pressure do I want to give here? The more upright you get, the more pressure you get, right? So kind of ease into it, gauge what works for you. That's why I ask you to hold that general area in that compressed place. So I'm going to get this information. I'm going to see what I have to work with. Okay? A couple more breaths here. I want you guys to stay longer on here, but like I said, due to time purposes, I'm going to try to make this a little bit smoother and quicker. I'm going to get good at this 20 minutes. I promise. It's hard with the myofascial release. So if you're going to allot yourself like 20 minutes per day, I say you pick 2 areas of the body that you're going to roll out. 3 areas of the body that are recommended by my teacher every day are feet, low back, and neck. So, and that would make a lot of sense to a lot of you, I know. So if that's something that you want to focus on, maybe one area of the body, I'm hoping with these PDFs you can take this information and kind of work it into your own daily practice. All right. Please, please, please roll out for at least that 90 to 120, but I'm going to come back here and set up for the next one here. So this is going to be an IT and hip, okay? So obviously everything is connected, especially that IT. So when you think about your tension and your tightness in that hip and knee area, that's your IT band. So tight. Talk about a muscle that's abused, overused, misused, right? So, all right. What I'm going to do is just start with a gentle little runner's lunge here, okay? I'm going to encourage you to have your blocks here because once we get into that IT stretch, you're going to need it, okay? So just a couple of rocks forward to back and making them kind of creative and to your needs. Working with your breath. The next time you come to an extended leg variation on that right side, I want you to heel toe this right foot over to the left, okay? Take your left block and bring it over to the right, okay? A little lighter and lifted here. I like to get that side body opening. That's that left hip stretching for me here too. So it's that adduction of the hips. Now, if you are able to, we're not looking to force it or push into pain. Remember, this might be like, whoa, for a lot of people. take your pinky side of the foot down to the floor. Okay. And then allow yourself to just kind of sit in this stretch. That hip to the knee, that IT band. Rolling out the IT band is one of my most favorite things to do because it makes so much sense and it covers so much ground. It covers so many muscles, right? Our deep six, it gets into all those muscles within the glutes and surrounding. Your knee helps. So many people have knee issues, and me included. So it's a wonderful tool to have, just to know how to take care of yourself when you have pain from the hip to the knee, glutes, things like that. All right, we're going to ease our way back to center here, and then gentle rock. And then we'll switch sides. I think I'm doing great on time, guys. All right, let's take that left foot forward, and you can take that runner's lunge. Ooh, that feels so good to open up the hip. So slow, deliberate, mindful movements here. And then when you're ready, we'll take that IT stretch. Ease your foot over. That toes can be pointed up in that flexed position, or you can bring your pinky side of the foot down. Notice your breath. I have chicken in the oven right now, and I think it's burning. So hopefully my kids can get it. Real life, right? All right, well, we're going to come back here. And if you can hold that longer, awesome. I mean, these 20-minute videos are kind of a base of what you have to work on. So depending on how much time you have, take it, okay? And gentle rocks, easing out of that. All right, and then let's meet in a seat. You want to take a bound ankle, then you can bring the soles of the feet together and just kind of noticing how you feel in your hips. Feels nice to be able to move the breath freely through your body. And once you find that intention to do it for 5-10 minutes, then it does set the tone for your day. So, happy hips. So that was your hips revisited, and I, as always, am honored to have led you through practice. I thank you so much for your trust. From my love of yoga to yours, namaste.